New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is drugs on profile. We got an Arizona woman who was arrested on suspicion of smuggling drugs over the border. Dog smelled her backside like most dogs do, but this dog was a drug smelling dog.
Yeah, sadly, this one was trained.
Yeah, and he was right. Question is, what was up in the old keister there? Was it cocaine, heroin, meth, or Suboxone?
And Anthony, that is a question that we posed to you. By the way, quick note, Suboxone is the drug they use to help block the effects of things like oxys. Okay. So basically, like glorified methadone. So what, you're not addicted to oxys, you can get addicted to this instead.
Oh,
right. Yep. So we're all familiar. Let's see. Now, D-Ted Smith, you went with heroin.
Old school.
No. Oh, I'm afraid it is not heroin. That was in the backside there.
All right.
Putting the black in black tar. And Anthony, you agreed with Miles that it is cocaine. No.
Oh, man. Ooh.
There's one main clue that would say it's not cocaine, and a very astute listener said that and said, look, man, I don't know what it is, but they found a half pound of the drug, but a street value of $1,700. They said that eliminates cocaine. Cocaine ain't that cheap.
Oh, okay.
You got a half pound.
Aha.
What it was, however, is good old U.S. methamphetamine. That's right. Because you need to smuggle that over the border because you can't find that anywhere in the U.S.
That's why I didn't pick it.
Right. I wouldn't have picked it either. Like meth. Like, there's meth everywhere. I could walk outside right to the bus stop because there's a guy there tweaking just a second ago. Probably hooked me up with some meth.
Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
Lick his forehead and get high.
Your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box.
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
A sincere scream today.
Damn right.
You've been not quite hostile, but like trigger happy.
I have been.
Like you're very much a reach for my gun kind of mood today.
Touch me. Just please. I'm begging you. Touch me.
I think you say that under multiple circumstances. When speaking of Guam.
I say, it's friggin' Guam, all right? Let's push the water back. Anyhow. The choices today will be the Jimmys. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. Seth Meyers.
Okay.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right. All these guys have teams and talented writers and help them coming up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this a late night joke and from whom? Or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Bob Dylan sold his entire songwriting catalog to Universal in a gigantic record-breaking deal. I'm thrilled for Bob Dylan, but if I see Blowing in the Wind in a Gas X commercial, I'm going to freak out.
Kimmel. Seth Meyers.
Jimmy Fallon.
Here's some music news. Bob Dylan just sold his entire songwriting catalog to Universal in a giant record-breaking deal. I'm thrilled for Bob Dylan, but if I see Blowing in the Wind in a Gas X commercial, I'm going to freak out.
Actually, I think that'd be a great pick.
Lay Lady Lay for like Serta?
Yeah, I mean.
I'm still on the hurricane for the hurricane. Let's see here. Sad news from the North Pole, as it has been revealed that if Christmas Eve is foggy, Santa won't be able to make deliveries this year because Rudolph is in a mask.
It's supposed to be funny, Ted.
Ted Smith.
Yeah, the Ted Smith.
All right. Let me try it again, though. Sad news from the North Pole is it has been revealed that Christmas Eve, if Christmas Eve is foggy, Santa won't be able to make the deliveries because Rudolph is in a mask and he doesn't want to get fined by Roger Goodell.
Definitely me.
Like he's got that red nose.
Right. Yeah, sure.
So he'd have it
That's how
pulled
they
down.
see.
He'd have it pulled down and he'd get in trouble.
John Gruden would be like, hell yeah.
All right, fight the power. A man in California recently punched a 350-pound bear in the face to save his dog. This news first reported by that man to every woman he meets for the rest of his life.
Seth Meyers.
Ted Smith.
Seth Meyers.
A man in California recently punched a 350-pound bear in the face to save his dog. This news first reported by that man to every woman he meets for the rest of his life.
The world's first ever commercially printed Christmas card. Fire that back up, Mouse. The world's first ever commercially printed Christmas card is on sale for $25,000. Even back then, the first person to get the Christmas card was like, wow, he gained a lot of weight this year.
Fallon.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Christmas is just a few weeks away, and I saw that the world's first ever commercially printed Christmas card is on sale for $25,000. Yeah, even back then, the first person to get a Christmas card was like, wow, he gained a lot of weight this year.
I mean, the first thing I'd bring up today is just, how about them Sounders?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That was outstanding.
That might be one of the most exciting soccer games I've ever watched in my life.
Well, not so much the first 75 minutes. It's a good game.
We had chances.
We
Wasn't
did.
Bad.
You know what? Actually, it was a good game. I was getting because we had a goal that was
Goal
called
taken
back.
out.
We had the one to
Off
smash the crossbar.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we were close. The good news is it just seemed like they were pressing the whole game. They gave themselves some opportunities. Granted, they didn't come to the end, but I didn't think they were going to come at all.
Well, it's also kind of funny, too, is like, I've played a little keeper in my day. So the goalpost is your best friend as a keeper, right? Mm-hmm. But when Jordan Morris hits the post, I literally was screaming in my living room, F that post, I hate post.
And not only that, but with the goal that they had, Fry went over and he measured the post. He steered everybody over. It was a penalty kick.
Right.
And I mean, that guy hit that ball the only place you could possibly get that thing.
No, it was perfect.
It was, I mean, you can't.
And you got to jump when you're in the wall.
Well, you know.
You got to jump.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I know.
Yeah, you got to jump.
I went through this last night.
I know. We won. I shouldn't be angry about it. I was just like, come on, guys. You got to help Stefan out a little bit.
They curved that thing in there, though.
No, you're right. That was a booming kick from him. But, yeah, just an exciting game. I mean, down 2-0 up to the 78th minute. You're just not going to see a lot of comebacks like that.
Not like that. Not on that sport.
We got one, and I thought to myself, well, we're going to make it look respectable.
Yeah, it's kind of where you're at. Like,
that comeback was such a big deal. I mean, obviously SportsCenter was going to talk about it because it's the Western Conference Final.
Right.
But it was a big story. You know what I mean? I mean, Miles, me and you look at Bro Bible every day. And a lot of MLS on there.
No.
They had it on there. I mean, I saw sports figures that never talk about soccer in the least, much less the American League that were talking about it and tweeting about it. So just great deal. And at this point, you've got to put... Sounders, I mean, you're just right. I don't know if it's a dynasty yet. You got to be close. You're talking 5 years in the conference final, 4 out of 5 years in the MLS Cup.
That's huge.
Yeah, It's massive.
And you're right. One of the most exciting anything in sports that I've seen in a long time. There have been great games. That's one of them.
Yeah. Now, with that said, when we head to the final, we don't need to have a comeback. Like, I'm good.
You just want to win it out.
Right.
Yeah, right. Be able to relax a little bit. I swear to God, man, I was about to walk out on that game.
It was exciting. I mean, I jumped on my couch. I've been on that couch in a while, Mike. I jumped on it. All right. 2020 is
damn. But someone chimed in and said, screw you guys. Minnesota lost because that's what we do well.
Oh.
Wow. Hey, man.
You made it that far.
I felt bad for you. They did everything to win. They just didn't win.
Right.
I mean,
They had to be sick. They had to be sick getting on that plane. You know you've seen your team do the same thing and collapse.
Right.
If you've been a fan enough for a while. They've done it before. But in the finals, man, and you're up, and I mean, all you got to do is get on that plane and go home. All you need to do is sit tight for 15 minutes.
Yeah, of course. Look, I'm with you. That it sucks for them, but The hell with them. I'm a Sounders fan.
The hell with them.
The hell with them.
That's right.
All right, so 2020's been a strange year, right? We have a pandemic. There's protests in the streets. We got an election. It's just been a crazy year. There's also been murder hornets, right? There's been a lot of stuff where people go, I didn't expect to see that one.
More hurricanes in recorded history.
More hurricanes. I don't know. There's crazy food out there, too. So, I mean, you know what I mean? I remember 10 years ago when it seemed crazy, there was croissant donut. I don't want to read this. I feel like a jackass even saying this out loud. But Lifetime has a mini movie on the way starring Mario Lopez as a young and sexy Colonel Sanders. Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel Sanders. It's called A Recipe for Seduction. It premieres at Sunday at noon.
Sunday at noon? What a terrible time slot. You're up against the Monday night or the football pregame shows.
And here's the trailer for it.
What the hell are you doing?
A Lifetime original mini movie.
You don't answer my proposal, and now you're not answering my call.
I think I'm falling for the new chef.
Jessica is falling for Harlan. The cook? Leave Jessica alone and skip town.
He has a secret recipe that's going to change the world.
Harlan claims to have some secret recipe.
A secret recipe? Spare me.
We all have our secrets. If you marry my daughter, I promise there'll be more long weekends in your future.
Mom, I have to tell you something.
We have a problem. Secret's out, chicken man. You won't take care of this. Ruining everything! Just kill him already! Who the hell are you? Harlan Sanders, the new chef.
Mario Lopez is Colonel Sanders in A Recipe for Seduction.
Sold me. I was just saying, I'm sold.
Secret's out, chicken man.
I've never, ever thought of myself, I need to turn on Lifetime. Now I have.
Yeah, this is my, Sharknado for Lifetime.
Yeah. It's only 15 minutes, right?
It's only 15 minutes.
That helps.
Yep.
I can't, I think it's got to be somewhat tongue-in-cheek.
It's got to be.
Get baked and watch this thing.
Yeah.
Right, so Mario Lopez is on there. Basically, what I could tell is Colonel Sanders is hired to work at a mansion. Then the girl falls in love with him. Seems like the fiance is also sleeping with the mom at some point.
Sounds that way.
It also it should also be noted that Mario stars in an actual Lifetime original Christmas movie called Feliz Navidad.
Oh, wow.
Which will air...
That's even cheesier.
Which will air after A Recipe for Seduction.
I don't think it can hold a candle to it.
I would just say this. Lifetime, thank you. I have zero interest in your network ever. You've never put anything on that I ever want to see. And now, 15 minutes, Colonel Sanders in a love triangle? I'm in.
I think the last time I watched Lifetime is because there was an NCAA tournament game on it.
On Lifetime?
Right, because, CBS owns it, but then they put it mostly on TBS, but they own all those other channels too. So sometimes the game would be on True TV, and a couple years ago they had some on Lifetime.
That'd be so disappointing.
I believe so.
Yeah,
these things happen.
Yes,
but look, you're going to be disappointed often,
right?
As in this moment right now when you talk about that.
Yeah,
right now.
God,
maybe.
What do you think the first ingredient is for A Recipe for Seduction?
Love.
Love?
Love.
Well, we're talking about seduction, not making love.
Semen.
A bottle of wine.
Thank you, Miles. That's exactly what I was thinking.
A bottle of wine.
I was going to say.
Sorry, I was going above and beyond.
You were. I was like, what are you doing being Mr. highfalutin and classy?
What, was semen?
No, the first one, love. That is not the answer I expected from you.
But it's Mario Lopez.
From Mike.
Now I'm picturing Mario Lopez, though, as Colonel Sanders, which I saw the picture. It's still...
He is. I mean, Mario Lopez has always been ripped, but it's just crazy,
I'm Colonel Sanders. That's what he looks like now. Like Colonel Sanders would beat your ass.
Yeah, I think the original Colonel Sanders was the man.
Harlan?
Bet he was. He's a Kentucky colonel, first of all.
Well, he got that later. But he had a shootout once with the guy that owned the gas station down the road from him.
For real.
Because they had chicken as well.
And he had a shootout.
Right. So he had signs on this road, right? He had a gas station, then he starts making the chicken. So then this guy down the road, he starts putting up signs. So they keep messing with each other's signs, and it gets to a point where they had a shootout. I don't know if anybody was hit or if anybody was killed. I know that, Mike, because there is a show on the History Channel called Foods That Made America.
All right.
That's how you learn these kind of things. You can read a book if you want. Don't forget, when this pandemic started, I was literally quarantined for 2 weeks. I had a lot of time to watch on stuff.
Right. You watched it all.
I did. I was on Tiger King before Tiger King was cool.
That is true.
Yeah, exactly. I was all about that S. Either way, Sunday, noon, you're probably watching some kind of football or whatever. Just set your DVR.
15 minutes, man.
Let me just leave you with this. The bad character in this movie says, "Secrets out, chicken man." And the title of the movie, again, is A Recipe for Seduction.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com. Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Flipping in central Pennsylvania wasn't bad enough. Black vultures are now pooping all over the town. Meanwhile, two kids steal their parents' SUV and drive from New York State to Delaware before cops could track them down. In Canada, police stopped two people for wearing shorts in the cold. So Russia, where New Year's fireworks may have to be put on hold. And a wild boar tears through a tea shop in honor of the Schlitz Malt Liquor Bowl. It is time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story. We got to New York City where police got a call about missing children. It was reported that the 12-year-old took off with his 7-year-old cousin in a Range Rover belonging to one of their parents on a little joyride. After a while of searching, the credit card of one of the parents was pinged as the kids attempted to buy something from a convenience store 100 miles away.
Cookies.
Now understand that
they wanted to buy cookies.
In that part of the country, all right, between New York City and Delaware, there is no point where there's not a ton of people.
All right.
But because you're in that part of the country, nobody cared that a 12-year-old kid is behind the wheel of a Range Rover.
Exactly.
There's no way they weren't seen. If you've been, like, you can't, I don't care what you're doing, there's someone within 15 feet of you. Certainly if you're driving, it is packed. How did no one...
But how often are you actually looking over into the driver's seat of the guy next to you?
You just glance over.
Unless he's being an idiot... How
also,
often are you really looking at this?
Mike, in all fairness, the way he went, most experienced drivers, that's a white knuckler. That's very busy through there.
It is. I mean, that's a
Did he go down 95?
The roads aren't the best.
I believe so. You know, because, I mean, I would think the kid would know the route based on what his parents have done. Beyond that, if you put it in the GPS, the shortest route's always going to be 95.
Just follow it, right?
That kid went on probably driving 85 miles an hour.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't mess around on those roads.
Hey, Jimmo, what are you doing?
Authorities on the New Jersey-Delaware border were notified and caught up with the kids who were soon reunited with their family. No word on where exactly they had planned to go and why.
Is reunited the right word?
How long were they gone?
100 miles worth, so a couple hours.
Yeah, reunited seems like a strong one for that.
And it feels so good.
Well,
did somebody say they were going to get cookies?
Yeah, that's why they stopped and got busted, because they used a credit card to try to buy cookies.
They stopped and got cookies. I don't think that they were done with their expedition quite yet.
No.
Where do you think they were headed?
From New Jersey, and they got stopped in Delaware.
Can I tell you what I really heard about
New
this
York,
crap?
they got stopped at the border.
I heard that this is all about some kind of a kid thing where it's the full tank of gas challenge.
No
So
kidding.
how far? You
just go and drive the car until it runs out of gas and report on where you end up.
Oh, I hope that yeah.
God, having kids is great.
Stay tuned. We might have that story later on.
I hope they stopped at Wawa.
In other news, interesting story out of Minnesota. After infertility treatments had all but drained their savings, a couple got the good news from their mother that she'd be willing to carry their future child. If that wasn't enough, after the embryo had taken hold and the wife had stopped her infertility treatments, another surprise, she turned out to get pregnant too. The two ladies carried the babies to term, and both are doing very, very well.
So wait, the mom and...
Right. So this married couple, they're trying to have kids. It's not happening. They go to the infertility treatments, or they go to the doctors. They give them all these treatments. Here, try this, try that. They're completely draining all their savings just trying to have a kid, not to mention what's going to happen afterwards, right?
So once you have one, you do it again.
Exactly. Nothing's working. They've all but given up. Mom comes in, she's like, you know what? I'll step up. I'll do it. She's like 56 years old or something like that. She says, I'll have this baby. All right. They get the baby. It takes hold. Mama's now pregnant. She's going to carry this baby, and away it goes. They stop the infertility treatments because they don't want to throw money away. They got a baby on the way. And then they just go ahead and just have a little bit of fun time, and boom, wife gets pregnant.
That dude is like, oh my God.
Now they got two.
I don't know what everybody's experience is with dealing with the mother-in-law, but it could be one of those things. That's my baby.
Oh God.
I was worried about that.
And do you tell the kid like grandma's your mom, or do you just raise it as your own?
That kid gets better gifts,
right,
than her or his brother.
What
or
kind
sister.
of a dynamic is this going to bring?
Whose eggs was it?
It was
hers.
It was her eggs.
So mother-in-law's eggs, and then
No. Wife's eggs inside of mother-in-law.
Okay, all right. Then she has no claim over.
They take it all outside of the system.
Right.
No, I didn't know if they kept her eggs.
In a Ziploc bag, and then they stick it back in there.
She is merely the soil where the seed was planted to grow.
That's disgusting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. A town in Pennsylvania has found themselves under fire from a flock of pests, vultures of all creatures.
Ooh.
Residents have submitted multiple reports of the massive birds not only pecking at their roofs and disturbing their trash cans, but the animals have also gotten comfortable at their roosts on roofs and cars and have relieved themselves over seemingly every surface that they touch.
Yeah, they crap everywhere. But they're the seagulls of Pennsylvania.
I just didn't know there was vultures up there.
Neither did
I did not either until today, and I've been through central Pennsylvania a million times, but what I do know of central Pennsylvania, I cannot believe all of them have not been blown out of the sky yet.
Yeah, and not only that, but buzzards are huge.
They are protected, I will say that.
Wait, they are?
Yes.
You can't shoot a vulture?
Right.
Can you roast one?
So here's the thing. The USDA has recommended that the residents resort to harassing the animals back in order to get them to vacate, so residents have been banging pots and pans and even setting off fireworks to disperse the birds. I actually heard that they defecate to cool off.
I do.
I don't know how.
Yeah, when you
get so sweaty on the toilet.
When you get the sweats down there, don't you know it's time to go?
I mean, I don't know how hot it is.
Don't you know?
I got the sweats coming off.
I mean, at what point do you decide, like, we got to protect them so you can't hunt them, but go ahead and drive them insane?
Right. You know what? Pop one in the head to get them to
maybe
away.
Change the laws on that deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it seems like it'd almost be more humane to hunt one.
There you go. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Anyway, we appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less and Profile This.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. In the meantime, we be all up out this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The men's room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.